So here is another video we've been asked to do, or we get asked quite a lot, is threading of an overlocker. For this one we're going to use the Singer SE017, which is one of our most popular sewing machines. It's got your front tensions across the top. So there is also what I class as the tambourine tensions, which are ones where you've got the dials as well. As long as you've got the machine threaded right, which is roughly going to be exactly the same as what we're going to do here for all machines, then your overlocker will work fine. The importance with everything with the overlockers is your threading, so as long as we follow the steps properly, we're going to be good. I've threaded across the back there, as you can see, corresponding colours to try and match, so we can see where they're all going as well. So we're going to start off by opening the flap. So we open the flap by pushing to the right and then bringing it towards us, and that opens everything up here. You've got here to the right a threading diagram, and that tells you how to thread it, and more importantly the order of threading, which is what we're going to follow here. So as you can see from here, if we were to zoom in, number 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you've got the corresponding colours as well. As we go down here a little bit further, you can see that each item when we go around has got a dot. That dot has a corresponding colour, so basically we need to make sure that that colour has the right colour going through, and then that we're threading. So they've tried to make it as simple as possible. Important thing we've got across the back there is you've got some guides. It's important that all the threads go through those guides that's there. If they miss those guides for whatever reason, then you're not going to get into your tensions properly, which is just here. And if you're not in your tensions properly with an overlocker, that's not going to form a proper stitch very well at all. You've got a threading guide across the top here, so the threads need to go from your spool at the back and then they go up. On these at the moment, I've just got the 1,000 yard moon threads. You can get the cones to fit on there as well, so that they'll all do the job. So off we go. So we're going to start with the purple thread, and we're going to make sure we go across the guide at the back through there, and we're going to go down. We're now just going to follow the process of following the dots and the diagram just here. Underneath there, if I tip it up, you'll see that there is a guide. The guide's there obviously to help keep the machine in the threads in the correct order. And then we're going to use the tweezers that are given as well, so to help thread it. So we're just going to follow it again. Like I said, I keep repeating myself, but hopefully you'll get there, you'll understand. Right, so we've gone straight down through one dot, through a next dot, up to that dot, and then we're going to go into your looper. Now this is the right looper, okay, so the one that passes over the top of the threads. Move that out of the way, and I'm just going to poke it through. There we go. Now I've always been taught that once you've got to this point, you thread, lay across the back, so out the back, just there. Okay, so we want it out the way and out the back. Once we've done that, we're then going to go to the yellow one. Now the yellow one is the tricky one. This is the pain in the bottom that everybody dreads, because it goes to your left looper. So again, we're going to go down past the guide, through the guide, underneath the edge just there, and then yellow dot. We're just going to follow the yellow dot, through there. Now this is tricky because the left looper is the one that tucks out the back out the way. So this is the one that goes to the left that way, hence why it's called the left looper, or the lower looper it's also called. So this is where it starts to get a bit tricky, especially when you've got a camera in front of you. Now with this one, what we have to do with that is, if you notice on the diagram just here, you'll see that there is a groove. The groove is what we're going to try and get into. So what we have to do is tuck the thread around the back of the looper and then push it towards the groove. Now if I try and position this here, now don't be afraid while ever we're threading the overlocker to move things about. There's a lot of fear in it, there's a lot of moving parts, but don't worry, I always do it and it doesn't seem to hurt. So we're going to go around the back there. There we go. And all we're then going to do is use the tweezers, pliers, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call them, and push them towards back there. So we're going to push it. Now it will just fall in naturally, and we know we've got it in because it comes back here. If that obviously wasn't in the groove, it would fall off the end of the looper. So we know we've got it in the looper, and we know we've got it done. We'll give it a pull, and you'll see it's coming at right angles. It's going across the looper. So now we need to thread the looper. Give it a cut. over the top and around the back. There we go. So, like so. So again, we're going to put it out the top, thread them down the side. All right. So, always remember to go underneath the foot as well. You don't want to get them caught across the top of your work. Next thing we're then going to do is the green looper. The green looper, sorry, not blueprint looper, the green thread. And the green thread is for your right hand needle. And again, going through the thing there. And the needle's thread, as you would imagine, the same as a sewing machine. And we're going to go around here, through the guide just there, through the guide there, through the guide. Now here you've got a thread guide. I'll try and zoom in on that so you can see. Just here. I don't know if you can see on the video, but it is like a pig's tail, so it's a curly whirly type thing. And we're just going to go around the back. It's important we go in that curly whirly part, just there, because that will help help keep the thread in line with the needle as it's going through. If I move it to the left here, try it out the way. There we go. Now might be a good time to move the knife out the way should you want to. So we do that by pushing it here, spinning it round, and you'll see there's a groove there for it to tuck into. But you do make sure that it is at the lower part of the travel rather than the upper, because it could catch on the top there. There we go, that's out of the way. And now we're just going to thread the needle as we would do a sewing machine. Back to front. Likewise, when you put a needle in, you need to thread the needle flat side at the back. So the flat side at the back, and then up, and make sure you push it in as far as you can. Now those eagle-eyed amongst you might have already noticed that the needles are at a different height. They are meant to be. They're not meant to be level. They are meant to be left needle is meant to be higher than the right needle, and that's just so that when the timing is for your threading, you can sorry, the timing is for your overlocker and it forms a stitch roller. Somebody far cleverer than me once designed this, so they know why it was done. And now we're going to do the blue, so we're going to follow the blue. Oh, I've cheekily not threaded the green in the right place, so we'll just tuck that across the top there. There we go. Now we're going to follow the blue. There we go. Pass through your pigtail, and then we go through the left needle. There we go. We're through. That was easy. Right. So all 4 threads are now across the back. Zoom out a bit. So all 4 threads in my handy pandy just here. Then as you'll see, as I pull, all 4 threads are moving, which is the important part. Now, I don't know if we can see if I bring that in there. Probably can't see. You might just be able to see, but if you just see there, the blue thread is sat on top of the tensions. Let's scan across. Green is in the tensions correctly. Purple is sat across the top. You should just be able to see that one in purple. And yellow is also on top of the tensions. Now if we were to sew now, what will end up happening is you'll end up with a very loose looking stitch. You won't end up with a very nice looking stitch like on here on this sample, which is what we're trying to create. And that's because simply the fact that the threads are in the tension. So what we do, even though the machine's threaded right, that will give off a false impression of the stitch. So what we're then going to do is what I call floss the machine. So you get hold of your 4 threads, get hold of these across the top here, and we're just going to pull. Now that has just pulled all the threads inside the machine, inside the tensions properly. A little scan across the top here. You'll see that they're now all in. Now you're ready to close the flap. Put the knife down that way. You're now ready to close the flap and start sewing.